Ladies and gentlemen, if you think the most dangerous woman you'll ever date is some wild, reckless bad girl, you're dead wrong. The real danger hides behind a calm smile, quiet voice, the perfect act. Let me tell you why this kind of woman will wreck you harder than anyone else. Jessica O here. Welcome to the channel. Today, I'm breaking down the 3 deadly signs she's more dangerous than you think. I'll show you how to spot her early, protect your heart, and why walking away might actually be the smartest move that you can make. Trust me, this is the kind of real talk a lot of guys don't want to hear. Number 1, she's a master of emotional manipulation. This kind of woman doesn't need to yell or throw tantrums to get what she wants. Nope, she's way smarter than that. She uses emotional manipulation like a secret weapon, a slow, quiet game that breaks you down piece by piece. Think about the last time you felt confused after an argument, like you were the one who messed. Even though deep down you know that it wasn't your fault. That's exactly how she works. She'll say things that seem innocent, even caring, but underneath it's completely calculated. Maybe it's a subtle jab disguised as a joke. Wow, you really forgot again. I'm surprised. Or she might throw out a casual comment that leaves you doubting your own memory or judgment. Are you sure that's how it happened? Sometimes your mind plays tricks on you. Now, before you know it, you're questioning everything about yourself. Your feelings, your decisions, your value, you name it. And the thing is, emotional manipulation is about control. It's dangerous because it's invisible. No bruises, no loud fights, just that constant feeling that you're never quite good enough, never quite right. It's like being in quicksand. The harder you struggle, the deeper you sink. How many times have you caught yourself apologizing just to keep the peace? Even when you weren't wrong. That's her, pulling your strings. She'll guilt trip you with lines like, well, if you really love me, you'll blah, blah, blah. Or make you feel like you're the bad guy for setting any kind of boundary, saying things like, why are you so difficult? I'm just trying to talk. And the worst part is, she can convince herself that she's the victim, the one who's hurt, while she's slowly wearing you down. This type of manipulation is a relationship assassin. Quiet, deadly, ineffective. If you've ever been caught in this silent trap, comment below. I've been there. Let's get real about what emotional manipulation really looks like. Number 2, she's addicted to drama, but keeps it classy. Now, this one's tricky because she doesn't fit the stereotype of a wild, attention-seeking woman who blows up your phone with constant fights or posts every little argument online or on her status, right? No, she controls the drama like a puppeteer behind the scenes, and she keeps it classy in public, right? Imagine this. You're dating a woman who's always calm, put together, the perfect girlfriend when friends and family see her at least. But behind closed doors, she's a master at stirring emotional chaos, playing the victim, pushing your buttons, and then acting innocent like nothing happened. Here's the catch. She uses drama as a tool, not because she's unstable, but because she's addicted to the control that it gives her. Every argument, every tear, every misunderstanding is a way to keep you off balance. So you're constantly trying to fix things, apologize, and prove your love. Sounds exhausting. It is, but the public perception is what makes this so dangerous. When your friends ask why you're always stressed or apologizing, she'll flash that charming smile and say, oh, he just doesn't get me sometimes. Right? And everyone will buy it. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a cycle where no matter what you do, the peace never lasts, but you can't show or tell an yawn because she's so good at hiding the chaos? That's a trap. You're isolated, emotionally drained, and questioning your own reality while she maintains her spotless reputation. It's like dating a secret agent, except instead of spying for a country, she's spying for control over your life. Number 3, she uses sex as a weapon and a weapon only. Let's talk about sex, because for most healthy relationships, sex is connection, vulnerability, mutual desire, but not with her. She uses sex like a chess player uses her pieces strategically as a tool for control rather than intimacy. And here's how it plays out. You notice the pattern. When she's happy or wants to reward you for good behavior, she's Alan. Hot, attentive, maybe even passionate. But the moment you step out of line, disagree, or don't meet her expectations, guess what happens? Suddenly, sex disappears. Like poof, radio silence. You start to feel like you're begging for approval, craving that physical connect. But it's always just out of reach. That's not love. It's manipulation. She's withholding something you need. And the reason she has the power is because she knows you want that thing. It's a classic emotional power play. When sex becomes a weapon, it stops being about you and what you both want. It becomes about her and what she wants from you. Submission, control, or simply keeping you hooked. You're left walking on eggshells, always wondering, what do I have to do to get back into her good graces, to get some more sex, right? Ugly truth. No matter how hard you try, it's never going to be enough because sex in this game is about punishment and reward. Does that sound like the kind of relationship you deserve? Hell no. Number 4, how to protect yourself. Okay, so now that you know what you're really up against, the $1,000,000 question is, how do you protect yourself from this kind of woman? Because, let's be honest, once you're in deep, it's not exactly easy to just pull away. Okay, so I'll share some real steps that will save you time, energy, and heartbreak if you're ready. First thing I think is important for you to do is to set boundaries and stick to them, right? No more bending over backwards to keep her happy when she's pushing you around emotionally. If she disrespects your time, your feelings, or your space, what you want to do is call it out. And if she pushes past your boundary, you need to be ready to walk away. And I know that's tough, but it's important. Remember, boundaries aren't walls. They're just lines that keep your self-respect intact. Next, watch for what she does, not just what she says. This one's huge. Manipulative women are experts at words, promises, apologies, sweet talk, but actions, well, that's where the truth lies. If she says she loves you, but constantly disrespects you, that's a huge red flag. If she promises to change but never follows through, don't let the excuses fool you. Trust your eyes. Trust your ear. Trust your gut. No matter how much you want to ignore it, your intuition is your best defense. When something feels off, it usually is. Too many guys ignore that little voice because they want the relationship to work, or they just fear being alone. But that voice is telling you to protect your heart, so listen to it. Next, don't isolate yourself. One of her most dangerous moves is cutting you off from your support, family, friends, anyone who might see the truth. Make sure you keep your circle close. Talk to people who care about you and get outside perspectives on some of the things that are happening in your relationship. They can serve as real eye-openers, right? And a second opinion always matters and is important. So to wrap this up, guys, protecting yourself means respecting your worth and refusing to settle for anything less. Remember, the most dangerous woman isn't the one that's shouting or coursing public scenes necessarily. It's the one who's quietly draining you emotionally, mentally, spiritually, while making you think that it's your fault. So stay sharp, protect your energy, and don't let her rewrite your story. It's important. Jessica OS here. If you got value from the video, you already know what to do. In modern relationships, many men enter with open hearts, pure intentions, and the hope of building something lasting, yet often walk away broken, confused, and questioning their worth. This isn't because women are inherently cruel or men are weak. It's because emotional dynamics in relationships have become distorted by insecurity, ego, and unspoken expectations. Understanding how certain patterns can break a man emotionally is essential for growth and protection, not bitterness. Awareness is power, and once a man sees the truth, he can love freely without losing himself. These are the 3 powerful yet subtle ways women break men in relationships, and how to protect yourself while staying kind, wise, and grounded. The first way women break men is through emotional manipulation disguised as love. In the beginning, everything feels pure and magnetic. She mirrors your energy, supports your dreams, and makes you feel seen. But slowly, a subtle shift occurs. She begins to test your emotional boundaries. What started as affection turns into control. She withholds warmth when you don't meet her expectations. She praises you when you comply, but withdraws when you stand your ground. This emotional push and pull creates confusion, and you start working for her validation instead of mutual respect. Alan Watts once said, "Trying to control the future is like trying to take the wind out of the air." The same applies to love. When control enters, connection dies. A woman who uses emotions to dominate doesn't love you. She loves the power of knowing she can influence your state. She'll say things like, "You don't care about me," or "If you really loved me, you'd do this." These are emotional traps meant to make you prove love through. Obedience. Over time, a man starts losing his individuality. He suppresses his truth to avoid conflict. He becomes reactive, walking on eggshells. This kind of relationship slowly breaks a man's self-esteem. To protect yourself, recognize manipulation early. Love is not guilt. Love is not control. When you feel like you're constantly being tested or emotionally drained, step back and observe patterns without reacting. Boundaries are not disrespect. They're protection for your peace. When you say no to emotional games, you say yes to self-respect. The second way women break men is through comparison and conditional acceptance. Many men experience this silently. At first, she admires who you are, your ambition, your simplicity, your energy, but once she feels secure in the relationship, her focus shifts from appreciation to improvement. She starts comparing you to others, an ex, a coworker, a fictional version of a better man. She'll say things like, "Why can't you be more like Hi? Or you used to do this for me." These words may seem small, but they plant deep seeds of inadequacy. Men begin to internalize that who they are is not enough. Slowly, he starts living not as himself, but as the version she wants. This emotional conditioning is subtle yet deadly to authenticity. A man who lives in comparison loses his sense of direction. He stops creating from inspiration and starts living for approval. Eventually, he forgets who he is because he's constantly chasing who he should be. This is one of the quietest ways a man breaks inside. When a man feels he's loved only when performing, his soul suffocates. To protect yourself, remember that love without acceptance is a transaction, not a connection. You are not meant to be reshaped into someone else's fantasy. You are meant to grow with someone who sees your essence and respects your individuality. When you feel comparison creeping in, reaffirm your worth internally. Your value does not diminish because someone fails to see it. Stand firm in your purpose and never beg to be understood. The third and perhaps the most destructive way women break men is through withdrawal of respect. Respect is the oxygen of a man's spirit. A man can survive distance, silence, or even arguments, but when respect disappears, everything collapses. Some women, consciously or unconsciously, begin to use disrespect as a weapon. It starts with sarcasm, criticism, or small jabs at your masculinity. Then it grows, dismissing your opinions, undermining your decisions, and making you feel small in front of others. She may not yell, but her tone, expressions, and indifference say everything. A man who constantly feels disrespected begins to shrink emotionally. He doubts his purpose, hesitates to lead, and eventually loses the fire that once defined him. Respect doesn't mean blind obedience. It means mutual recognition of worth. When a woman stops respecting her man, the relationship becomes a slow death. Protection here is not about dominance but dignity. If a woman mocks, belittles, or emasculates you, leave before you lose yourself. You cannot inspire respect by tolerating disrespect. The most powerful thing you can do is walk away with quiet strength. You don't need to explain your worth. Your absence will. Alan Watts said, "To love is to let be." Real love doesn't need control, comparison, or disrespect. It thrives in freedom, understanding, and truth. Many men stay in toxic relationships out of fear of loneliness or guilt. But loneliness is not the absence of her, it's the absence of self. When you reconnect with yourself, you realize peace was never lost. It was only buried under emotional chaos. Protecting yourself doesn't mean closing your heart. It means leading with awareness. Know that manipulation is not love, comparison is not growth, and disrespect is not passion. A strong man is not one who never gets hurt, but one who learns from pain and transforms it into wisdom. Do not fight every battle. Observe, understand, and detach. The moment you stop reacting and start observing, you reclaim power. Love should elevate, not exhaust you. The right woman will never need to break you to understand you. She will recognize your peace as her own. A man who learns these lessons stands unshaken, his heart open, his mind clear, and his spirit unbreakable. Remember, a broken man can still rise, but only when he stops trying to fix others and starts healing himself. The journey back to wholeness begins when you stop chasing love and start protecting your soul, because the strongest men are not those who never fall. They are those who learn to rise differently, wiser, calmer, and untouchable by the games that once destroyed them. I'll catch you in the next video.